Hi guys, it's Tammy and it is the 1st of July and I kind of got sidetracked first thing this morning and made these cute little blocks. So I thought I would pop on and show them to you. They're really fun and easy. The stencils are from Essential Stencil. And of course, if you ever go on to order stencils from them, use Cheers at checkout and you will get a discount. So I am going to turn me upside down briefly so I can be right side up when I'm painting for you. There we go. And turn you down and we're gonna get started. Yeah, I base coated these really roughly with some white paint. These were actually scraps from when we added a couple boards to our deck this year. We had a couple boards we had to replace. Hey, when you come on, say hi, let me know you're here. And tell me, what are you eating for the 4th? I've just started kind of prepping our menu things, and it's like it's all over the place. So I need to kind of like narrow it down a bit. All right. So like I said, all I did is this is treated something. Anyway, what did you do decks with? And I just real quick coat of white paint on both of them. I want these to be rustic, and this one I'm actually going to paint first with a blue. And then I'm going to let it dry and I'm going to sand it through. So I'm going to do that one first. Set that aside. Did I grab a big brush? Probably not. Let's grab one. Oh, there's one right here. I'm going to use this one right here. Okay, so I'm just going to use primary blue and I'm just going to base coat the block. What do we call it? It is just so pretty here today that I cannot wait to get outside and sit on the deck and just kind of do a bit of nothing. I'm kind of avoiding doing a lot of actual like work outside in our garage or in the yard, because today marks the 1-year anniversary of me starting vacation by being sweet and saying I would help my husband clean the garage. And by 6:30 in the morning, I was in the emergency room with a double tibia rotated fracture and a snapped fibula, meaning I broke my leg really, really well. So, gratefully I have recovered quite well, but I just kind of thought today would be an okay day to avoid the garage and any chance of slipping on wet grass. So I'm not superstitious, but let's just be safe. All right, so I'm base coating this. I will base coat the back of it when I'm done, but I'm just gonna get a little too messy to do that right now. I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry. If it doesn't dry, we will hit it with a blow dryer. Look, it takes me no time at all to be full of paint, no time. All right, oh my God, look at that, that's insane. Any of you guys ever had that issue that you sit down to paint and there's more paint on you than there is on the project you're working on? Or am I alone in all that? Okay. Hey, I found us. It's good to know. Yay. Cool. So again, say hi. Oh, there's Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you. It is nice in Illinois. Absolutely. Hi, Lori. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to go ahead and when I did this guy, I'm trying to move this before I get it all over there. I just used straight acrylic paint, just the blue and the white. I need to turn you guys so you are not reading this backwards. I'm sorry. There we go, that's better. But I decided on this one, I'm gonna do the same stencil, but I'm gonna use the Dazzling Metallic, just so that it has just a little more flair. Plus, I know you can't see it, but my little twine has just this little tiny touch of gold in it, so it's kind of a little shimmery. So I'm going to take my block that I've done white. I like to distress them either before or after because I want my letters to be kind of distressed. I think I'm going to go with after on this one. Pick the side I like best. Neither one of them are perfect. I think we'll go this way. All right. And this was the set. If you happened to watch me yesterday, there's 6 of them in a set from Essential Stencil. And just really good stuff. And this one is going to say, America, Land of the Brave. And what I want to do is line it up, and then I'm just going to scoot it down a bit so I can come back and add that little bit of ribbon with it. I like using the stencil brushes, but sometimes when you're dealing with smaller areas like this, it's easier to use a makeup sponge. I'm going to be kind to myself and actually tape this down so I'm not trying to move it or not trying to hold it and paint it at the same time. Flip comments. Hi Barb, hi Dorothy. Yes, I'm very glad that that was last year and I don't have to worry about broken legs anymore. Okay, so I'm just using a primary red and a primary blue, and I'm going to be doing, oh no, I just told you I'm going to be using Festive Red, the Dazzling Metallic, and the Dazzling Metallic Ice Blue. Yeah. So I've already cut my makeup sponge in half. I've actually used these before. I use them often. I'm going to go red, blue, red, blue, red. I could go any way you wanted to, but that's kind of what I decided to do with this one. So I'm going to go into my red first. Now your metallic paints are a little more transparent, but you still want to make sure that you are offloading so you don't have a bunch of paint bleeding through. So I'm going to tap it on here. What it might mean is I just want to be light, and I might just want to come back and add a second coat so it has a little more coverage. The other option I could have done is to do the primary red first. Maybe I should do that. I'm going to, on the letters. I'm going to pick up primary red first, so the regular red paint, tap it off my paper towel, and I'm going to do that first, and then I'll give it that second coat with the Dazzling Metallic. I want to show you just real quick. If I just did the one coat of the Dazzling Metallic, it's kind of light, which isn't bad on all things. So this is taking the straight primary red first. Oops, I'm still going to hold it down. It's not bouncing all over on me. That's just going to give me a little more coverage. I don't have a lot of patriotic decorations, and apparently this morning I woke up and decided that we need a couple. So after doing the one, I thought it'd be fun to do it with you too. And technically, I am on vacation as of today, just for the weekend. Let's go ahead and go over those stars too. But I do like a long holiday weekend. I'm sounding a little bit like a spoiled brat. I went to the lake last weekend and kind of planning on being a little spoiled this weekend and doing nothing. But you never know, I could pop on. Trying to, there we go. Arizona City, Arizona. I bet it's hot in Arizona right now. Whew. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. I just set that red aside. I'm going to let it sit for a second. I'm going to do the straight blue paint first, the blue, primary blue. So I'm going to do my middle star. And America. Sometimes I think simple can just be just enough. It doesn't have to have a fancy background or a lot going on. I might add some fireworks to this. Have a fun, easy way to do fireworks. Okay, so I've given it a base coat of the regular colors. I'm just going to use the same sponge. I'm not even going to cut it off, and I'll go into the Dazzling Metallic. And it's just going to give it a shimmer. It's not going to make it like glittery, although I could do that too. But I do think it's going to show up a lot better having the regular paint as my base first. So that's the metallic done on the red. And I'll do the same with the metallic blue. Add it to my sponge, tap off a little bit on my paper towel, and go over my blue star and my America. And I'll offload it onto my stencil there so I can pick up a little extra. I mentioned this yesterday too, but it's always good to have a little piece of tape, even if you're not taping it down, but that way it's easier to lift off. Oh, I like that. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to see that, but I'm gonna lift it up. It's got just enough of a shimmer just to be a little more fancy. That's what it is, it's a little fancy. Okay, so I know I wanna do the little bow up here, but I do think I'm gonna put in a couple little fireworks on each edge. I'm talking with my hands a lot today, my goodness. So here's my little simple fireworks thing. You use a liner brush and you wash your hands. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to start with the red, and I'm going to go ahead and just use the metallic, I think, since that's what we kind of have our... I'm just going to make little lines like... Go this way, this way. This way. Go. Kind of pulling toward the center. If you wanted to call them a comma stroke, you could, but I'm really just setting my brush down and pulling it in toward, I'm making kind of that my center area. And I'm making them different sizes, and they're going to go a couple different directions. And I'm going to do the same thing in this corner. They don't have to match. Most fireworks don't look exactly like time to time. And just move this way. Like I said, I think part of the way to make them look more like fireworks is to have them going in the different directions. I just rinse my brush out. I'm going to go do the same thing with blue. Not necessarily in the exact same spots. Maybe this one will go here. Varying my direction. I think we need a little blue over here. And then I'm going to add a couple little stars. I'm going to start in this about the center. I'm going to just make elementary little star. And I'm just going to make some little stars around here. So I'm just doing like two little triangle lines and a line in between them. I could make the stars with silver too. That might be pretty. Maybe we'll add some silver stars. And just like if you saw me yesterday, my stars aren't perfect. It doesn't bother me at all. But I do like the idea of adding some silver stars. So this is the shimmering silver. I'm noticing that I have a little bit of letters that bled a little bit. I'm going to show you how we can clean that up. But first I'm going to add a couple silver stars. Cheap. Add one here. I don't have stencils that are this tiny of stars. I'm sure there's somebody who makes them. And I say that, and I probably could check out some of my Christmas stencils. I might have smaller stars in some of my Christmas stencils. That's the other great thing about using essential stencils and mixing and matching them, that you can use them in different holidays. I don't just have to use these stars for the 4th of July. I can use stars other times of the year. And I'm making them different sizes. Cute, okay. So I'm going to show you as close up as I can. I have a couple right in my "the" is kind of smeared a little bit. The key to fixing that, obviously if it was still just wet, I could probably just take a Q-tip and get it off, but this dries pretty quick. So I'm going to just go in with some white paint, the same white I used. I know I'm going to be sanding through these letters, and so that's going to help a lot to make it so it doesn't look as smeared. But all I'm going to do is take my white brush and just kind of touch in next to the letters where it's smeared a little more than I like. I'm not trying to go around them perfectly. But it just cleaned it up enough so it doesn't look sloppy. And again, when this is completely dry, I'm going to come in and sand through these letters anyhow. So that will really help. The other thing, if you have letters like these that you don't like the gaps, those are called bridges. And all you would need to do is just go in and fill them in with the color that you stenciled with. I don't happen to mind it, and sometimes I don't like it at all. I'm going to switch blocks for you guys. I'm going to set this aside so it can dry, and then I'll do the little doodads on it. Oh, thanks. You like the firecrackers? So again, you can barely tell the shimmer on them, but it's kind of fun to see it on the fireworks too. I think the shimmers work better for things like the firecrackers, or even doing something like this, rather than just going straight to like twinkles. If I need it to be more sparkly, I certainly can come back and add the twinkles to it. But you know, sometimes the metallic is just enough. Okay, set you aside for a sec. And as I said, I like to see some of that white through there. So I'm gonna grab a piece of sandpaper so we can sand through. Not sure where I put my sandpaper, but I've got a sanding block. This is still a little wet, so let's hit it with a blow dryer. All right, so we're not going to do anything on the sides. We're just going to deal with the top part. So I'm going to take a sanding block and I'm just going to set this upside, sand my edges, and see, that way I get some of that white coming through. It's just a different way of distressing, where I'm pulling the color underneath through by sanding it, but my base coat is still basically blue. I've got one wet spot I'm just going to try to avoid. And the more you sand, the more it comes off. There's my edge. I think that's pretty good. All right, guys. I definitely need to start having baby wipes right next to me. All right, I am going to hit this one more quick time with a blow dryer, because I'm going to be using white paint, and I don't want my white paint to be light blue with my lettering. So while we let that dry for a second, we will see if we can get some of the blue paint off of my fingers. I don't think my nail tech would like me to have blue all over my hands right away. Thank you, Cindy. It makes me feel better knowing that I am not alone in a... You know, it's funny, when I paint furniture, I always wear gloves. I come down here thinking, I'm just painting little blocks. I can't get that messy. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You know, it's that one spot there I just want to hit with the blow dryer. I think we're good. All right. Do you like that blue distress? Something just a little different? All right, so here is a God Shed His Grace on Thee. And what I did on this one, instead of making it completely centered, look at those, is I went off to the side a little bit so that I had room to do my little doodads. And I keep picking up blue paint. I'm a hot mess. So I want to make sure that my letters aren't going to fall off the edge or off the bottom. That looks pretty good. I'll just borrow a piece of tape from over here. Set it down. You saw me. I just cleaned my hands. This is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to hope that I'm clean enough to not make a mess. Although I'm really not thinking that's so. All right. Let's get some of the paint off of Tammy. Oh my God. All right. Well, I am here to be real and to let you know that paint happens. Everywhere paint happens. All right. I'm laughing. I hope you're laughing too. So let's save enough of our paper towels so we can offload our white. Oh my goodness. I'm going to use a stencil brush for this. This is an essential stencil brush. And again, you can get a discount when you order from Essential Stencil if you use Cheers. The Dazzling Metallic I was using are Decoarts. I'm just for right now going to be using straight white paint, and I'm going to be smart and pour myself a puddle that's not right next to my blue because I will just be asking for trouble. So I'm loading my brush, taking some of it off on my plate, and then making sure I take some of it off my paper towel. Okay? You can swirl this or you can go straight up and down. While this is not reclaimed wood, it is not super smooth wood either. I think this one was going to be okay to just kind of swirl. But if it had a lot of ridges and stuff in it, I probably would be pouncing up and down like this. This, I think, is going to be pretty good. And sometimes when I am doing a light color over a dark color, in this case the white over the blue, and I'm not 100% sure if it's dry, I might just let it sit with the stencil on for a second or two before I lift it up and take a quick peek and see if I might need to give it a second coat. I like this stencil because it has a couple different fonts. You've got, God and Grace in one font, Shed His in a font, and then Thee is done in like the Algerian. Is it Algerian? It looks pretty good. Let's take a quick peek. I might come back and hit that E and C just a touch, so we'll just give it a second. Loaded my brush again, taking it off of my paper towel. We'll just go ahead and give it a quick second coat. Up. God Shed His Grace on Thee. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm going to put that brush in the water so it doesn't dry out on me. Okay, so all I did for the embellishment on this guy was I had a couple of these picks. I'm not even sure where they're from. And then I had the ribbon. It's not ribbon. Twine. And you can tell this was a Christmas one that I probably got after the fact. And you don't have to do as many around as I did. You can do as little or as much as you want. I'm just cut some off. Should you're dry, I'm going to give that a second to get dry. My paint off. Let's see if our other one is dry yet. I think it is. We'll just do this. We will set this aside for a sec. We'll flip back to this one, and I just this one, give it a little more room. Okay. I gave myself enough of a tail. I'm a painter. I'm really not a crafter. So this looks a lot more awkward than watching me paint. And then I just wrapped it around a couple times. Maybe around the third time. Oops, it's only gonna go the second time. That's fine. And then I tuck this under. I love when people tell me I'm really crafty. I'm like, I'm really not. I'm not. I can paint, but I'm not that great of a crafter. Okay, and I'm making a little bow, especially when it has anything to do with bows. Okay? And then I'm just gonna make the bow whatever size I want it to be. And I'm gonna spread those little twiny things out. I think I missed a paint side, but we can come back and fix that. And I'm just going to trim my bow. And then we have America, Land of the Brave. You like that one? I think it's kind of simple and fun. And now we will add the doodad to the other one. We will bring back our Grace will grab some more of that twine. And you could add anything you wanted. You could just stick with the twine on this. You could get really creative. That's the fun, is taking something really simple and just making it your own. So I'm gonna start this one back here where I'm gonna tie it. And I'm gonna come around a couple times. I'm gonna see if I can let me just, I think you're supposed to do this with the wire cutters. Not just with the scissors. Okay, well, we'll see if we can just break it. Well, it's gonna look a little silly to have this long thing on it. There you go, I broke it. Okay, so I just broke the little star off. I'm going to stick my twine up in here. Come around here. Make sure it catches somewhere. Maybe all the way up here. And I'll come back down here and I'll catch it again. Like I said, not that big of a crafter. So I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but for today, we're gonna do it this way. So I've got my little star. I can reposition it once I get it up on the back. Tie it, a little knot, tie them all together. I'll have to untie it when I come back and finish the back of it. And then I just played with the twine until I got it where I liked it. So that's what I'll do here too. All right, let's grab ours. And there were the two I showed you, and here are the two I did with you. So I hope you had fun watching that. Let's turn you right side up. And let me see what you create. I mean, like I said, those are just out of scrap wood. You could do those on a canvas too, like a little 6x6 canvas. That would be really fun. Mine are just gonna sit, we have a ledge in our foyer. I'm just gonna sit mine on the ledge, and I made some firecrackers to sit between them. So I think this will be fun. Hey, have a great rest of your Thursday. Whatever you do, I hope you're having fun. I'm gonna go out and enjoy some sunshine. Take care. Bye-bye.